What's going on, everybody? I'm Brandon from Walker's Woodworks. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made an outdoor dog gate. Since this was going to be an outdoor project, I went with some cedar fence boards that I just picked up at the local home store. I started by taking them over to the miter saw and cutting the boards that would make up the middle panel as well as the frame for both sides down to length. Now these boards are all just rough cut, so I wanted to clean up the edges over at the table saw just to make everything fit together a little bit better. Once that was done, I laid out the pieces for the frame for one side and then marked the cross brace where I needed to cut it. Using a ruler, I drew a line from mark to mark so I knew where to cut. Unfortunately, this angle was too steep to use my miter saw, so I turned to my track saw to get the job done. This could also be done with a circular saw or jigsaw with a straight edge as a guide. After I cut both ends, I did a test fit and it all looked good. I used the same process for the frame on the other side. I grabbed my sander and sanded everything to 80 grit. I didn't want to knock it down too much because I wanted this gate to kind of have a rustic look. As always, I will leave links to the tools and materials I use in this video for you guys to check out in the description below. And if this is your first time to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I drop new videos. Once I had everything sanded, I laid out one of the frames minus the cross brace and started laying the slats on top of that, just getting everything lined up to assemble. I topped that with the other side of the frame and then put a few screws in to hold it in place. I didn't use glue on this project because I knew it was going to be outdoors, and being built with wood that wasn't kiln dried, it would move quite a bit. So I used a lot of exterior deck screws driven in from each side to hold the gate together. I used 2-inch deck screws on mine, but whatever material you use will determine how long the screws need to be. You want to make sure they go through all 3 layers, but don't poke out the other side. Once I had the outside of the frames all done, I could turn my attention to the cross pieces. So I put one in on one side and then flipped it over, put the other one in, and then drove screws through both. Last one. After it was all assembled, I used my track saw to flush up all the edges. Then I went over everything with a mini roundover bit just to soften the edges and corners. I grabbed a sanding sponge and went over all the corners again and the edges just to make sure everything was nice and smooth. Again, since I knew this project was going to be outdoors, I chose some spar urethane that was rated for it and applied 4 thin coats. I really like the natural finished look of cedar. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment below and let me know. After that, all it was left to do was install it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave me a comment with your thoughts on this build. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.